You're listening to Podketeers.
Welcome to episode 445 of Podketeers. This week we talk about some of our favorite announcements and stories from 2022, including park news and changes, content, and more. We'd love to hear some of your favorite moments from 2022, and you can connect with us on our social networks, including Instagram and Facebook, but we invite you to join us on Discord. Joining the community is super simple. Just head on over to podketeers.com/links and click on the Discord button to join the community. A very special thank you goes out to an awesome group of people known as the FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents, because it's their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. As part of the FGP Squad family, you get some additional perks like exclusive discount codes for Podketeers gear, additional content like the Podketeers After Show, and access to our happy hour calls, just to name a few. For more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to check out podketeers.com/FGP. And as always, a super special thank you goes out to the FGP Squad for their continued support. So that's it. This is the last episode of the year. From all of us, we just want to say thank you for being a part of the Podketeers community. We know that this time of year can be difficult for many, on top of the fact that it's still kind of been this weird year. But our hope is that at some point we were able to bring a smile to your face, or maybe help you learn something that you didn't know before. But more importantly, that you had fun. So as I like to say, if this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome. We hope that you enjoy the episode and that you come back for more. And of course, if you've been hanging with us for a while now, welcome back, friends. Here's looking forward to a brighter 2023, and here is episode 445 of Podketeers.
Ho, 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 ho. Topo Gijo.
That's right.
It's the Topo Gijo time of year.
Wrapping it up with the ending of last episode. Boom. Continuity.
You just listen to that one, and then this one just fades right in. You know, if you're
It
not.
just fades right in, exactly.
Exactly.
Except that now we have a continuity skip because Larry's here today.
Yay!
So now we've cut to the next scene in the show with more people, and then when we cut to the next scene, there's going to be a robot.
Whoa!
What else would be cool to have that would just be like shocking for people to see or hear?
Shocking to hear. Elmo.
Yelling
Oh,
ghosts.
okay, there you go. That's better than what I was going to say.
This is probably the moment where I would try to do Elmo's voice, but given the fact that my throat is feeling the way that it's feeling, I don't want to go into a 15-minute coughing fit. So let's pretend
Dobby's there.
Let's pretend
Dobby.
I did Elmo's voice, and we'll move on from that one. This
Deal.
is Elmo's voice. La 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 la, Elmo song.
There you go. All right, now Cartman.
I could probably pull that one off, but still, it's probably going to hurt. So I think impression-wise, I'm going to call it a day.
You know. All right.
Been there.
We'll see how I'm feeling after more water and warm drinks.
Hot
So
toddy.
we'll go from there.
Mm.
Ooh, hot toddies.
Delicious.
Has anybody ever had a hot toddy before?
No,
Yes.
it's just fun to say.
No.
What did you think, Larry, when you had it?
It burned the back of my throat a little bit, like, because you're
Yeah.
getting the alcohol and then you're also
Yeah.
getting the warmth of the drink. But it was good because we were in the snow when I tried it. So
I was going to say, if you want something that's going to warm you up more than just a tea or a coffee, you have yourself a little hot toddy there, and boom, you feel like a firecracker.
there's the flavor.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's cream of the crop rising.
Oh,
Maybe
going
that's
full
the only
circle
one I
of
can pull off right
2022.
now. That's the only one I can pull off. Yeah, I had it long ago. I want to say it's probably over 10 years at this point. But, I mean, I still remember it. It's one of those moments where you have your first hot toddy. You feel super hotty. I don't know what to say. maybe we should move on.
That's fine. You know what?
It's good with me.
All right. Well,
It's like 2022.
This is,
Move on.
yeah. How was everybody's Christmas?
Chill?
Yeah.
Yeah, really chill. No drama. It's been awesome.
Busy. We were driving all over the place. I've got a big family, so we were driving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, but can't complain. Got to see a bunch of people. Got to give a bunch of fun presents. Ended up getting a few good fun presents. So it was all in all good Christmas.
Right on.
Same here. We drove back to the San Joaquin Valley, so that's a little bit under Andrew, Sacramento area. So it was a lot of driving.
That's a
family.
bit of a drive, yeah.
Yeah, about 5 hours from where we're at. But it was good. Good times. Thankfully, the weather cooperated too. We didn't get any of that bad weather.
Oh,
a little bit of
yeah.
fog, which is weird. That's one of those
that's
weird
good.
middle California things. But other than that, it was fun. Good time seeing everybody grow. Kids are growing. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have as much driving as either of you did. I think, like Mel's, it was pretty chill. But, yeah, overall, we did get a chance to see some family. And, now I just want to be snuggled up in blankets, trying to nurse whatever I have. And I'm hoping that I'm okay for New Year's. I don't plan on going anywhere New Year's. I think I'm just going to hang out and watch that New Year's Dickie Eve thing. What is it?
Dick
What's
Clark's
the-
Rockin' New Year's Eve
That's what I
party
said.
presented by Honda.
That's what I said.
Oh.
Yeah.
Honda.
And Osimo. And Innoventions.
I always just do presented by Honda. I don't.
saw a bird.
That's right.
Yeah, yes, of course.
Right on. Well, for today's episode, we thought it would be a fun idea to just kind of think back on all of the announcements, the new stuff that we saw in the parks, on Disney Plus, the content, all that stuff. Figured we could do a few each and just reminisce, think back on the things we liked, things maybe we didn't like. I guess we can always talk about the things that we didn't like as well. But, yeah. Who's going to be the brave soul that's going to start us off on this one?
I can go. That's all
You
right.
go.
I wrote a list down. I got like a bunch, so we can pick through. Let's start with a one that was fun for me. The Muppets Lego minifigure release.
That was cool.
I had a good fun time collecting those. Very excited to have them on my shelf. Yeah, it was, little blind bags with the Muppets, and I ended up not having any extras. I was very fortunate in that regard, but I think that was a good Lego set that came out, the minifigure set, and I'm just kind of starting to get into Lego a little bit. I have those, and I have the Haunted Mansion Lego set, but I don't have much else when it comes to Lego. But I was very happy to have those Muppets and have any Muppet merchandise in general come out.
Remind me again what you ended up with. Did you end up with the complete set, or were you still missing any?
Nope, I have the complete set. I had a box from Amazon where every one was different, and then I needed 4 more or something like that. And we went to Joann Fabrics, and they had like a display sitting there. And they were the bags. It was still Lego has changed over from the like Mylar bags to cardboard boxes, so you can't feel. And the newer ones, you can't feel what's in there, but in these ones, you can feel the bags. You can feel which ones you're getting. So as long as you kind of know what you're looking for, you can be like, oh, there's the banana that comes with Fozzie or whatever. So I ended up with the complete set without any spares, which was nice.
Yeah,
Very cool.
Usually doesn't happen, so you really scored that time.
Yeah. I recently got something blind as well. And I went through the process of opening them, and I was pretty content as well because, I got one duplicate. And that usually doesn't happen for me. I usually buy 10 of something, thinking yeah, I have like perfect
The
odds to
odds.
get all
Yeah.
3 of the ones that I want, maybe a couple of sets, and I end up with like 9 of the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's where the eBay sales come in handy.
There you go. Make those
Okay.
money.
So
Yeah.
there's a new one. That's a
Yeah.
developing because I use this information, which I always think of Andrew, because recently I started picking up pins. I was trying to avoid it, but now I've seen these blind boxes that they had on the Disney store, the Shop Disney store. They sometimes go on sale, and it's a 2 set of pins, right? So it's like, I'm like, I'm going to start collecting these, but every time I see them in a box, I think of you, Andrew, and this collection you're talking about in 2022. I'm like, there's no way I can know.
Exactly. Yeah. It's sometimes there'll be some of those pins that are in a bag, but
Right.
it's we just recently got. They had the March Madness. Was it March Mayhem? The March Madness.
That's right. It's coming up.
It is.
But the
Right around
the
the corner.
attraction logos that they had made, the team.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
They
That was
had
cool.
those in a bag, and it was like a set of 5, and they were in a bag, and you could feel that.
Okay.
So we ended up with, we at least ended up with the Temples one. So I was happy with.
That was the one.
My
you're
wife
going
was
for.
Score.
kind enough to give that one to me, and she kept the rest of them since she was the one who bought the package.
Very cool. Yeah, with other blind packs, I think sometimes it's easier to determine what you're going to end up with. When my kids were trying to collect as many of the wishables when those were available in the parks, they would go around feeling the bags to try to figure out like what characters they were.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we would buy them, they would feel it, and then they would open it, and then they'd like put it back and try to remember what it felt like, so that the next time they would like kind of remember.
Smart.
But then I remember seeing like on social media that people were trying to collect. They were like the Super Mario characters, like Lego and stuff. But the difference between those was that I don't know who it was that messed up on the packaging or whether it was done on purpose, but the codes on the back were actually the character that you were getting inside of the bag.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't even have to guess. Like people would just post like
Whoa.
F9, F2 is Princess Peach. G985 is Mario. So you would just
Wow.
look for that square in the code, and you knew what you were getting. So I wish there was somebody kind enough at Disney marketing to put like a nice little code on the back of these blind packages so that
Nobody else.
collectors
just
can
us.
like super easily just be like, nope, got that one, nope, got that one, nope, this one I don't have, all right, and then just happily go buy it, right? It would make our life a lot easier. And I think what it would also do is limit the amount of stuff that ends up on eBay, because the people that tend to sell that stuff on eBay aren't going to buy 800 of them
Mm-hmm.
to get a set and then sell the rest of them for a crazy amount on eBay. So, yeah, right on, man. It's a good one. All right, who wants to continue?
I'll go next. Now
All
that
right.
Andrew's gone. So for my third spot, I decided when Disneyland fireworks came back. And as
yeah.
speaking as a local, like it's been so weird without them because every day 9:30 you hear boom and you're like, all right, cool. I don't need a watch. I don't need nothing. It's 9:30. I got it. So I have like another 2 hours to, go to sleep or whatever. But it's actually exciting because they haven't had New Year's Eve fireworks. And I mean, I've said it multiple times. I used to spend my New Year's Eve there. So to hear them again is like warm fuzzies, even though I can't be there. But it's like, yay, some normalcy is back in a way. So it feels nice to hear the booms and whatnot. So yeah. And then that happened during my birthday month. So I was like, yay, I'll take that as a personal greeting.
Nice.
So,
That was
yeah.
back in, when they brought it back originally was back in July, right? Like 4th of July
April.
weekend?
No.
Oh, in April.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you just said for your birthday. That's right.
It's
Come on,
okay.
Heyzen.
It is late. I
Come on,
forget.
get in the game. Come on, get your head in the game. Come on. All right.
Wildcat.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's a good one. I can imagine not hearing that stuff. The Matterhorn Hojo cam was super lonely for a long time.
Yeah.
I would occasionally connect to it knowing there was going to be no fireworks, and I would just sit there and imagine watching them. But, now it's different. It's back, so it's all good.
Right?
Mine kind of ties into the park too for this one. So in February 2022, February 23rd, I'm going to rejoice with all Disney goers and Disney park goers because the trams returned back to Mickey and Friends. And that was like a big deal because we had talked about on here, like, oh God, I hope they don't roll us like into Genie Plus. I hope they don't make us like an extra charge to ride the trams. So like, it was a big deal. And like, this whole year when I've been going, it still gives me, I park in Mickey and Friends pretty much 90% of the time. So it still gives me those vibes every time I get on the tram where it's just like, how, Melissa, it's funny, it ties together. You talk about the nostalgia and this kind of reassuring feeling of hearing the booms and hearing whatever going off for the fireworks. There's this like reassuring feeling hearing the trams go off, watching the same kind of path it takes out of the parking structure and into downtown Disney and hearing the spiel that you hear. That kind of brings this like, I don't know, this park, you're preparing yourself to go back to the park like it's the first step or the first step out where you kind of like unwind and you're kind of going back to what you do in your life. So that was a big one for me. I liked it coming back, and yeah, nobody liked that walk. So
No.
I can speak on that pretty confidently.
Welcome
Many
to the Mickey
people's
and Friends.
knees. Yeah, many people's knees were happy that day.
Yeah.
Listen, from afar, my knees were happy.
That walk was no joke, but I haven't ridden the tram in such a long time because I always park at Toy Story. But also I've been flying down recently, so I haven't even had the chance to be at Mickey and Friends. So I always miss the spiel of the guy going like the Grand Californian Hotel and Spa with the arts and crafts movement in California and do whatever he says. But
I think the funny addition now is I don't know if it's new, but maybe he says there's no smoking in the park or vaping.
Oh,
I think that's an interesting. Every time I hear it, I'm always like, oh, that's different. That's definitely a 2022 thing of vaping.
I might just need to next time just ride the tram to the parking structure and then ride it back so I can hear the spiel and see what's changed since I've ridden it last, because it's been probably like 4 or 5 years since I've been on Mickey and Friends tram. Yeah, I mean, I think the last time was like right after the Pixar parking garage opened up was the last time I was there.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it's
Toy
Story.
Story.
When they put that security over at Toy Story, changed the game.
It did.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah. It's a good choice. Good choice. Let's see. I mean, like Andrew, I have just like this laundry list of things that I think I wanted to talk about, but I think I'm going to go with something that we've been kind of obsessing with a lot recently, and that's the announcement and release or early release of Disney Dreamlight Valley. I think when you talk about connecting to the park, I haven't had an opportunity to go to the park as much as I would want to have gone this year. And so, trying to keep a connection to Disney like that, the podcast has been a huge part of that for me, right? Because I get to talk to you guys get to talk to me about your experiences. Larry with your live streams, which, dude, congratulations on hitting 2,000
Yeah.
on your channel.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Stuff like that is what keeps me connected to the parks right now, especially, at least until I can go and feel more comfortable about being there, more often, which I'm hoping this coming year is finally when I can do that. But in the meantime, things like Disney Dreamlight Valley, you talk about cozy games that, you just can enjoy and not really think about too much. It's not overexerting. Like, I love playing all sorts of other games, but the excitement and the tension and everything that comes with playing other games, like Disney Dreamlight Valley is just a chill game. You can just kind of veg out. You could just not think too much about it. You get to see Disney characters. You get to keep connected to the magic that way. And I like every time I play, I just keep thinking like, man, they got to bring some Disneyland attractions into this. They got to bring like more park features into it. They got to bring like park experiences. And I know that there was a point where, you know, Bob Chapek had been talking about connecting the parks with outer experiences and creating that synergy with all of their products. And it really got my gears turning when I saw that Dreamlight Valley was releasing the Disneyland Spirit jersey. I'm sorry, the Dreamlight Valley Spirit jersey in game, the one that matches the Disneyland one. And then on top of that, they did the Mickey gingerbread cookies. And then it's almost like they're incorporating more things from the parks little by little, right? So if they continue to do that, they bring in some attractions, not just obviously for me, but I think for a lot of Disney fans that just live too far away to visit the parks as often as they would want to, or don't have the means of doing it. You know, like they save up for an entire year to go once a year, family vacation style type thing. I think it would be a great opportunity for Disney to incorporate the magic into that game. Like they could add whatever they want, right? So for me, it was a big deal that game got released. So my first pick is going to be Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Crossing that off my long list, which is just fine. I have plenty of others, but that was also on my list. So, yeah, it's definitely, I think, been a grand majority of the episodes after that was announced and then released mention at least once Dreamlight Valley in some way or another. We all seem to be somewhat interested and obsessed with the game, so that's I think a good one for sure. I know I definitely am a little addicted. I finally was able to welcome Stitch yesterday.
Oh, me too. Right
so after not paying attention to how many days it was between socks, trying to figure out I got the first sock on the first day, and then I could not find the second sock to save my life. And I don't know what happened, but I got him now. It's fine. It gives me stuff to do, because after Stitch, it's you know what, there's going to be a dearth of things for me to do. It's just pumpkins and fishing and stuff until another update.
Have you finished Buzz and Woody yet?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm
2 weeks ago.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
So I hadn't been playing as much, at least for those characters, because you guys know that when I play or I try to advance in the game, I want to be recording it so that I can at least archive it for whenever I have a chance to post them on the YouTube channel. But because I don't do any major milestones unless I'm recording, it took me forever to finally get started. And it was great because a lot of the things that I needed to complete minis like Friendship Quest with the banner, the telescope for Wall-E, like Buzz and Woody. I think right now I'm in the process of leveling them up because you can't advance unless they're at least level 7 or something like that. So anyway, we'll keep going. Otherwise, I'm going to get into like 30 minutes of more Dreamlight Valley stuff. But yeah, Dreamlight Valley.
I just want to say one thing, and what it's kind of like real quick. What you guys talk about and share on the podcast, I think, is definitely with what it has here and the FGP Squad. And anybody that joins the Discord, shout out to Podketeers Discord. Jump on if you haven't. It's an amazing level now to see that gamer chat thread in our Discord, because it's creating a community outside of the community of Disney, but it's still related to Disney. It's all Disney, and the game hasn't officially launched yet to anybody like as a mass consumer. And I could just see how that's gonna. You're talking about Heyzen. So many people I interact with don't have the means or don't have the opportunity to come to the park as much as they would like, right? And once that becomes more of a global availability, there's a lot of gamers online, and I can't wait till it just becomes like you guys are caving through this thing, and it's gonna be so much more fun and interactive to see more people get added in like 2023 when it officially does become like the global launch or whatnot. It's available, but it's not available, I guess you could say, right, to everybody. So
no, you're right.
That's going to be amazing, I think, and it's cool to see the gamer community combining with Disney on a mass level, that they're doing it well for you guys to be entertained for all these hours. That's just awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, especially once it's free. You know,
Right.
like you said, once it's mass release, it is going to be free. So it is going to open that opportunity for a lot of people. Plus, I think the Game Loft, the people that make the game have been so open to changing things in the game when the community, says, hey, let's add this, or they have polls about what they want, like what the community wants to see next. The community will drive this game, and we'll just continue to make it fun. So I agree with you. I think, the possibilities are just endless with this game. I'm so excited to see where we are a year from now with this game.
That's back to me,
Let's wrap
I guess,
around.
right?
Back to Andrew.
Back to me. Okay. Heyzen stole mine. I think I'll steal one that I think is on Heyzen's list. We'll see if this is on Heyzen's list. Dave Smith's Window on Main Street.
And strike through on this one.
That was I had a feeling.
It was on my list.
So yeah, it's I'd say long overdue. Dave Smith, the driving force behind the Walt Disney Archives, the master archivist, whatever you want to call him. Just don't call him not a Disney legend, I guess. But that's what he is, Disney legend. Window on Main Street at Disneyland. Much deserved, and yeah, definitely past due, but better late than never, I say.
That's a fantastic one. Yeah, I agree with everything that you said. I mean, the Disney Archives wouldn't be what they are today if it wasn't for Dave. As a matter of fact, ask Dave all of the letters and the columns that he had in the magazines and the books that have been written, with all the fun facts and stuff that have basically are compiled, just have compiled all of the questions that Dave has answered throughout the years. It spawned an entirely different type of Disney fan. There's park fans, there's Disney cartoon fans, there's Disney animated film fans. Yeah, exactly. That book that you're holding up right there, Andrew, is definitely one of them. The Facts Revealed.
Nicely modeled.
Yeah.
Everyone's bringing out their books. It looks great. Love it. I'm like,
Yeah.
just because we need visuals.
Yeah, sorry. So we are
Descriptors.
pulling books off of the shelf here, but
Disney Facts Revealed by Dave Smith is what I'm holding.
yeah.
I'm looking
There's
for
3
my...
books here called the Ultimate Disney Trivia book that Kevin Neary and Dave Smith wrote. There's so many books that you can find with all of these fun facts. And I think these books and Dave sharing his knowledge and archiving these things spawned a totally different type of Disney fan. It spawned fans like us that, do these podcasts now. They have blogs. They do vlogging on YouTube. They share these facts that they learned. And it just makes it fun. You dive into the Disney company in a whole other way, and it's kind of the gateway to things like Imagineering. And, if you learn about these things and they spark your interest and your creativity, who knows? Like, that could be another generation of Imagineers that we have later on simply from a trivia book.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right, Andrew. Like, long overdue. I'm glad that he finally got his Window on Main Street. If I'm not mistaken, it was supposed to happen a couple years ago, but, with the closures from early on in the pandemic, they weren't able to do it. But, yeah, Dave Smith's Window, man. It's a wonderful addition to Main Street.
Agreed.
I'm mad. I can't find my freaking book. I have another Dave Smith book, but I can't find it. Anyway, his window says it's New Century Historical Society, Dave Smith. Town Archivist is what his window says, if anybody's curious. I believe it's on, does anybody know? It's
Above
the
It's right in front of Carnation
Curiosity-
Cafe. Yeah, it's right above the clock, the watch
Yes.
shop.
That's
Anyway,
it.
that's where it is. So Melissa's turn, I guess, right?
Yeah. And I know we've been talking about this lately, but it holds a high place in my heart. And it's finally hearing Raiders March and getting the trailers, getting indie information, just pictures, footage,
My list.
seeing
No, I'm just
Harrison Ford is that's my number 2 spot, is seeing that, and just it's not just seeing that, it's the fact that we've been waiting 14 years that
Yeah.
we didn't even know if we were going to get that or get anything. So the fact that we're hearing all of this hype, the excitement, like talking about a community. There's a lot of accounts, a lot of different people on social media that follow each other. So we're slowly feeling this hype build up, and it's so much fun. So much fun. And we still have 6 months as of this recording, 6 months, 3 days. Who's counting? Yeah.
There's a timer on Melissa's phone that's counting
yes.
down to that moment.
Pretty much.
It's the lock
Pretty much.
screen on her phone is just
Right?
it's a countdown timer.
Pretty much. Ask me, and I'll let you know. But it's just an exciting time for us, and seeing how Indy is getting refurbed, and we're seeing little inklings of stuff. It's like, this feels good. We're gonna cry some happy tears. Yay! So that is my second spot. Is that all the indie stuff?
My favorite part was when you sent us that screenshot that you found on Reddit of Steelix
Yeah.
during the indie refurbishment. So there's
Yeah.
Melissa sent us we'll post this on Discord, but Melissa sent us a picture she found on Discord of the snake, the animatronic snake that's supposed to come down at you. They took it out of the attraction because, they're doing whatever they got to do to it. But if you play Pokemon Go, you'll know what a Steelix is. And the snake just has this huge rock-looking head, and then it has this like steel-looking spine behind it that controls it. So it looks like you just need to grab a Pokeball and just toss it at it to try to catch it.
Right.
Yeah, indie trailer was definitely talk of the town. At least the talk of the town between the few of us. But it was also exciting to see Sala make his reappearance in the trailer. Hopefully, it is a large role. I have a feeling it will be if he's pretty prominent in the trailer, or that'll be the lines he the lines he says in the trailer will be his only lines. That's the kind of the two options. I think I'm hoping for a good chunk of Sala, and hopefully this. I think this the attraction going down is spurred by the film coming out, and that I don't think they're going to be adding stuff from the new film, but at least they want to have the attraction looking somewhat operational when the film comes out to those people that want to see a little bit of indie after have indie hype. And so yeah, it's at least bringing something good coming to the parks too. Hopefully, I'm so ready to be 100% on board with this movie. I hope it's great, and I want to buy. Hopefully, I keep saying hopefully, but I want to buy a lot of Indiana Jones stuff. So I would
Same.
like this movie to do well, be good, and then also produce lots of things for me to buy. Because I think
I'm sure it will.
Behind me, the audience cannot see, but there's a full shelf of things, and I will make room. I'll buy another shelf if I have to put some more indie stuff on if this movie stands the test. But yeah, I'm ready for indie.
Hey, listen, they had a really cool leather jacket on Shop Disney.
They had a really cool white button-up
That white
shirt.
Hey,
shirt.
that's still available.
Oh, yeah, you can still buy the white shirt.
That's totally in my watch list.
It's in everybody's shopping cart, right? It's on the
Yeah.
wish
Right.
list and everything, right?
White
The
shirt.
leather jacket bummed me out, dude. That jacket was cool. I was so bummed. It's not the exact replica of Indy's, but just even the actor they used. Check it out, guys. If you haven't, just look up. It's still available in like the small sizes, so you could see the image they were using for the Indiana Jones leather jacket. It's not the exact replica, but it was cool. It just looks cool, and it does give the vibes of Indiana Jones.
We can get some stones. I think you can get the what is it? The voodoo doll is still available too.
Yeah.
They had all kinds of fun stuff on there, but I'm excited for some new stuff because I don't know. I have a weird opinion where there's only so much stuff from the films we currently have that you can sell stuff of. And they are currently
You mean
selling
they don't
that.
want kids running around with whips in the park?
Yeah, I mean, but they sell them. You can buy
They
a
do sell
whip.
whips.
It's big and chunky, and it makes sounds and stuff. But I guess they have the small one too. But this is getting way off topic. But
I want the
there are
satchel. I want satchels. Just bring a line of satchels.
there are so
Yeah.
many things from the attraction that they don't make any merchandise from the attraction. Currently, there's the fanny pack and
Right.
like 2 pins. That is what we have for Indiana Jones, an e-ticket attraction that has
never goes under 50.
Yeah.
has a fanny pack and 2 pins out right now. Haunted Mansion, they have like a store and a half full of Haunted Mansion stuff.
watch
I'm not
yourself
saying
there.
I'm not saying take
Watch
away. I'm just
yourself.
Shots are
trying
getting
to
fired here.
I'm trying to compare the giant
Leave my child
you know,
alone.
the gap of we have 2 stores full of Haunted Mansion stuff. Pirates has its own store. Indy used to have its own store, and
did.
Yeah.
they didn't have Indy stuff in the other than the hats. They didn't really have anything in the store. They had the maps, but the maps were, not the attraction maps. They were like this weird Adventureland map or whatever it was. I don't even remember. But there is such a big gap between the other e-ticket attractions, even Matterhorn and Space Mountain and Big Thunder, who don't have a ton of merch, still at least have a t-shirt that is the attraction t-shirt instead of a Raiders t-shirt, which is all the shirts are just Fortune and Glory Kid and Raiders. So I'm getting off my soapbox here and begging for more attraction merch. But that's my thing. I'm stopped talking right now.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, though. I agree with you. I mean, even historically speaking, when you think back on a lot of the indie merch, it's never been like true indie merch. It's always been like Mickey dressed as indie, and they've put it on pins, on shirts, on all sorts of different things, but it's never been like true Indiana Jones merch that you can purchase.
The few things that they have made, other than like the specific anniversary stuff, that's usually when you get something as an anniversary. But I have a good chunk of what exists as indie merch, and it's a puzzle, and that's basically it, I think. But yeah, so that I'm gonna stop talking there. I think I've talked about enough merchandise. Oh yeah, I fed the Mara Vinylmation too. I have that. So I have the two things that were released. Oh, and the Funko Indy and the Jeep. I have that too.
Oh, that's
There we
right.
go.
I will
Those are
say that's pretty good. The
You're lucky
Funko
to
and the
get
Jeep
that.
is pretty awesome.
And I had to get that. That was a Christmas present from eBay because that was like a Comic-Con exclusive, and then it was at Disneyland and everybody bought it. So that one was hard to get, but just make some stuff. But anyway, I'm done. We're done talking about it. Does anybody else have anything to say about the Indiana Jones trailer? Is where this started. I
We're
guess
good.
not.
We are good.
So it's Larry's turn.
Yeah. I'll since Andrew's stepped off his artifacts box at this point for Indiana Jones.
Great.
It was artifacts great. Yeah. I will say I'm gonna whip that one off my list because I did have
Nice.
that, Melissa. So there you go.
Nicely done.
I'll keep with the theme though. In 2023, I'll kind of just maybe this will get too convoluted, but I'll talk about my 2 favorite franchises that technically got bought by Disney. Marvel's Moon Knight was all that was sold because you know how Melissa's talking about a movie that's like 6 months away, but Moon Knight had this thing about it. We were like, what is this really going to be about? The trailer dropped. We talked about it. We broke it down, and we were just like, it did not cease to amaze us, and it definitely offered on every level of being a double message type of Marvel show that also followed guidelines that were built in the comic books, but embellished that and took it to its own storyline that we're all excited is going to continue, I think. And then seeing his character at California Avengers Campus was like I was so bummed I didn't catch him recently. I guess he popped up during the holidays. He was like
Oh,
out
nice.
randomly. Yeah, I missed that one, but I got to see him a little bit during his first rollout there, so that was cool. And then obviously the one that speaks to my Star Wars soul was Obi-Wan Kenobi series was just great. I mean, there was something they delivered on. It took many years to get to that point, and the trailer that released at the beginning of the year was like, I don't know, it was like 10 seconds basically of just Ewan McGregor talking about it. It didn't really even have anything till later in middle of the year, and I just feel like it hit on every note for me. And so I was super excited about those two things in 2022. Both of those on Disney Plus. They were Disney Plus releases. They're not like movies you had to go out and watch. So money to them. And I guess Heyzen, just to add it in there, things we weren't so, I hate to say it, but things we weren't so happy with, and that would probably be Boba Fett. The Book of Boba Fett, I'll say it. It was good. It was good, and I love Boba Fett. That is like a Star Wars character I've always connected with, too, in regards to like being on the dark side of things, right? But it didn't sell the way it was supposed to, I feel like. But it did get held on, thankfully, because of The Mandalorian. And Grogu really saved that show, if you ask me.
Mandalorian season 2.5.
Agreed.
Yeah, it did. It did save that show. So if I had to say disappointment in 2022, that would be it.
So there's such a gamut to run with stuff like that, right? Especially with Star Wars and Marvel, because there's fans that read all of the comics, all of the graphic novels, and know the lore of everything so well that they can find inconsistencies in the TV shows, the movies, and it's that type of fan that I feel gets really upset when Disney changes anything in those properties, right? Because they're not staying true to what's written or whatever the case is. But, there's a lot of things that just can't be adapted, I think, the way that they were written, especially when they want to keep it family friendly or they want to bring it to the parks in one way or another. Disney's always trying to they're trying to cast a net that's wide enough for the youngest fans to the oldest fans, and that's really hard to do with any of these properties. And I think they're always going to be able to keep a large segment of the crowd happy, but there's always going to be people that complain about that stuff, right? And the Book of Boba Fett, I think, as somebody that didn't necessarily grow up with Star Wars, I will say that of all the characters, Boba Fett was always kind of my favorite or one of my favorites, because there's always so much mystery around him, and he was a bounty hunter, he's kind of a rebel, and just like he fit into the story, but he was just like his own like person, right? And it was just a really cool character to have. So for them to expand on that story was fun to see. To get some answers, I think, was fun to see. But I think if we had seen that show prior to The Mandalorian, people would have complained less, because they would have just gotten the continuation of Boba Fett's story, and it would have led into The Mandalorian, and then people would have just been like, all right, well, this is just getting better and better. But because The Mandalorian was so well written and so well executed, that's why I think so many people had such a huge problem with it. I really do think that if it was switched in release times and it was out before The Mandalorian, people wouldn't have been so upset with it from the beginning. But, I mean, that's just what I think. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's how I feel about it. Because it wasn't... when you compare the two, yes, it wasn't as great as The Mandalorian, but it was still a fun show. And then, towards the end, they call in the pinch hitter, and you get the the additional action, to clean up the game at the end. So, I mean, it all worked out, right?
Yeah, it did.
Good job.
Sports.
Yeah.
Sports. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Is it my turn? It is my turn.
All right,
Right?
hold on. I gotta say
Yes.
Moon Knight. Sorry.
That's it.
Nice. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna tie mine into yours, Larry. I was gonna go with a different one right now, but I'm gonna tie mine into yours. I'm going to say that the announcement that they did. I want to say this was back in when was it that? It was back in May is when they made the announcement that Fennec Shand and Boba Fett were going to be coming to Galaxy's Edge. When they made that announcement and they talked about bringing those two characters into that area, they also made the announcement that later on at some point we were going to be getting Din Djarin and Grogu, the Mandalorian and Grogu just kind of walking around Galaxy's Edge as well. And for me, I feel like that symbolized a point where Disney didn't directly say, okay, we screwed up by tying the timeline to this new thing that nobody really kind of cared about. Like everybody, like we talked about this, right? Everybody calls it Star Wars Land. They never call it really Galaxy's Edge or Batuu. It's always like, I'm going to Star Wars Land. And if that's what it was, like this timeless Star Wars area where you can meet Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, Luke, Leia, like anybody, right, from the Star Wars universe, I think people would have been so much more happier from the beginning.
Jar Jar
I
Binks,
understand why
Babu
they...
Frick.
Yeah, Jar Jar
Yeah.
Binks. How do we cut off Andrew's microphone for saying that?
Who else could be? Watto. We could meet Boss Nass.
All of them. All of them.
You know what?
But,
I would love to meet Boss Nass. I tell you what. That's the guy that goes, if you remember who that is. But anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm interrupting making jokes. Yes, anyway.
No, I mean, but it's true, right? I think there's always going to be a bunch of fans that want to meet different characters from the franchise. And if that was their way of saying, okay, we're conceding to what people want and they're listening to what people want and they're kind of making it more of a timeless area, I think it's a great change. If we continue to see these changes to the area, we see more of these characters that don't necessarily fit within the timeline that they originally set for Galaxy's Edge. I think it's a really good way to get more people to enjoy what's happening. They have the bounty stuff with the Magic Band Plus that you can do. Like, if you do more of that stuff, I think there's going to be so much more acceptance for Galaxy's Edge as a whole from the Star Wars community than just the fair weather fans like me, or people that aren't really Star Wars fans and just kind of like see it as this cool new place to visit at Disneyland. So the announcement of those characters I think was a really big thing and a really big change on Disney's part.
That's me again. Let's see. I'm gonna go with those are some honorable mentions. I'm going to go with this one. Fairly recent announcement, but the announcement of the Adventureland Treehouse refurbishment from Tarzan's Treehouse into Adventureland Treehouse inspired by Walt Disney Pictures film The Swiss Family Robinsons, presented by Honda. Is coming to Disneyland. The announcement was, the attraction went down without us knowing what was coming. So when we finally got the news of this Adventureland Treehouse, it's more return to the classic Swiss Family Robinson. There may be some SEA tie-ins here. Very cool to hear. I was very excited. Still I am very excited, and it really does open up that part of Adventureland too, taking away that little secondary staircase with the bridge thing. It really does help that flow and everything there too. So I'm excited to see the finished product, and it's a very cool late in the year announcement, but can't wait to see it next year.
Right. The one thing, I'm not going on a tangent. I'm just excited for the fact that we may get merch then. Hopefully this is the attraction that pushes it.
Again. It's true.
Like,
Tree merch?
I want to give you... Yes, tree merch. I want to buy a tree.
I want
exactly.
a bonsai tree. That
Who
you know
doesn't
what?
like
That would
tree
be a
merch?
thing. A bonsai tree with the little house in it.
In it.
Yeah.
It'd
be
be like
cool.
$300 or whatever. But you know what? That's not a bad idea. Hey, Disney, call me. I'll let you know. We'll figure this out.
Right?
Also, I'm watching the Matter Cam, and I think the fireworks are canceled because fireworks.
Oh,
are
yeah,
Yes,
well, it's
because I don't
raining.
hear them
We're-
either.
Definitely.
You could shoot
raining.
fireworks off in the rain. It just must be too windy.
I don't
Probably.
know. They don't ever do it in the rain. Well, as far as
I've seen fireworks in the rain. But anyway,
From Disney?
I think so. I don't know.
I don't think I've seen them in the rain there.
I don't think I've seen them in the rain either.
Fog, but not.
Well, you know what? I'm going to look it up.
It might. I'm not saying I haven't seen it. in
Yeah,
my
I've
opinion,
never seen it
but-
before either. I'm with
You know what
Gary
I was
on
gonna
this
say
one.
about you know what I was gonna say about Andrew's comment is that then you're gonna officially have more Swiss Family Robinson tree merch than Indiana Jones.
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
that would
Oh.
be. I would be so
Back
sad.
on the
I mean,
box.
I
Oh,
will
boy.
buy. I will buy
have you
the
started,
Swiss
Larry?
Family Robinson tree merch for sure.
Dude, you just pushed up the
Um,
box and gave him a boost right there. You're
Yep.
just like,
So merchandise.
Hold up a new artifact.
Just let
funny.
me be in charge of the merchandise. You'll sell it all. You'll make a ton of money. Just let me do it, please. Just come on, man. Or
Yep.
person, whoever's in charge. I don't care. Just let me do it. I'll do it from home. I don't need an office or anything.
work from home, always a great
Work from
thing.
home. I'll do
When
it.
You
I'll-
can do it.
Exactly. They say, "What should we make merch of?" And I'll say, "Indiana Jones." Oh, and then some other
Mindiana
stuff.
Jones?
Yes, I got so excited. I said, "Mindiana."
Is that the new
Jones.
character?
Ooh, is that a
Mindiana
spoiler?
Jones?
Yeah,
Is that a spoiler in
that's from
2020?
Indy's
episode-
daughter, Mindy.
You didn't know.
No, that's the-
Mindiana.
Come on, this is actually Mutt's daughter.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
well,
Mutt's daughter.
yeah.
You know, it's been quite a
Oh.
while. It's been another 14 years. So Mutt had a
Okay.
daughter. She's 12
Mindiana,
or
yes.
13 years old. Mindiana Jones, and young Mindiana Jones coming to Disney Plus.
Spoilerific
2025.
Young Mindiana Jones Adventures.
Yeah, continue sponsored by Honda.
All right, Mel. let's move on to the next one.
All right. My top spot is actually not an announcement, but I want to give DCA so much love. And I have spent the past visits more in DCA than at Disneyland. And I love Disneyland, but DCA has come to life when it's just daytime, nighttime, and during October. Like we saw Oogie Boogie Bash bring out more characters, more villains. Thank you for Madame Mim and Ernesto de la Cruz. That was awesome. The fact that we just see more characters in Avengers Campus. Having to see, I'm like, wait a minute, how many did I not see? Maybe a handful? I got to see so many in the less amount of times that I've gone this year. And that's saying a lot. Like usually at Disneyland, you didn't see as many characters. To be able to miss maybe what? I think I missed Scarlet Witch, Jack the werewolf, which that's like one of the highlights is seeing him be there. Excuse me. I got to see Miss Marvel. I got to see Moon Knight. I got to see, of course, Loki. All just, you name it. Like it's, to me, that land alone is just, it's grown so much. And it's exciting to see this because when it first started, there wasn't as many people. There wasn't as many experiences, and to see more of that and then to see them tipping into Halloween, that's awesome. So I'm kind of excited to see what next year brings, what the next following year brings, and it's like DCA to me, like I was like, looking back, that little area just grown. I found myself being there for hours, just hanging out, watching, and good food, like the elote pretzel. Good stuff.
Yeah, Avengers Campus, I think, activity-wise, from a character standpoint, is really only second to Fantasyland at this point. When you think of
Yeah.
the amount of characters and interactions that they have throughout the day, the displays with the characters, the shows that they have, the marches and all that stuff that they do, from, the full-blown meet and greets on the floor level to just like playing the music and having them do a couple of, I don't want to call them stunts, but just like quick run-throughs or whatever on top of the building, depending
Yeah.
on what characters they bring out throughout the day. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, from an area that, when Bugsland was there, that had a decent amount of people, especially if you had children with you, that couldn't get on a lot of the other attractions, to what it's become now, all the way through, the back lot area where Mission Breakout is. You're right. DCA as a whole has just, has come so far. Even with all the Pixar additions that came to Pixar Pier, and the other characters, and I mean it's coming into its own finally, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't wait for San Francisco. Is that how you
Yeah.
say it?
Yep.
Big Hero
Yeah.
6. That's going to be a new exciting addition
Yeah.
there at DCA too.
I made the mistake of calling it San Francisco like an episode or two ago.
Everybody does it. Everybody. So
It's
that's why I
normal.
said it very gingerly. It's like,
Yeah.
Big Hero 6 Land.
There you go.
Yes, Big Hero
Mini
6
Land. Big Hero 6 Land.
Baymax Land.
Baymax
Baymax
Land. That's
Land,
right.
there
I
you
like
go.
that
Baymax
idea.
Land.
Just that's what it is, Baymax Land.
Ba la 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 Land.
Perfect, yes.
Are you?
Put that on a shirt.
You're right.
You're welcome, Disney merch.
Hey,
Ba la
Andrew,
la
get
la
on
Land.
it. Get on it.
It's a Christmas.
Next
Here we go.
pitch.
Here we go. I got it right
Oh.
here. It's a Christmas shirt. It's Baymax in Christmas lights, and it says "Ba la 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 la."
Perfect.
Deck the hall. Deck the
He's
halls.
wrapped up in Christmas lights.
Yes, deck
Yes.
the halls with something clever. Baymax related. Ba la 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 la. There we go. If that shirt doesn't exist already, some Disney call me. We got this. It's easy peasy. Like we can do this all day. Like Cap says, I can do
Yeah.
this all day.
Do this all day. Yeah.
All right. Well, before we continue with Larry's next pick, I do want to remind you that this episode of Podketeers is brought to you by a fantastic group of listeners known as the FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents, because it is their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. If you want more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to go to podketeers.com/FGP for more information. There you will find a list of some of our top contributors, a link to our Patreon, a little bit of information about what the FGP Squad is all about. But if you have any questions, we invite you to check us out over on Discord. You can go to podketeers.com/links and find the link to join the community there. We'll be happy to answer any questions you might have about becoming part of the FGP Squad family. But being a part of it gets you some additional perks like access to our happy hour calls, access to additional content over on Patreon, a special section of Discord, random giveaways and gifts that I like to send out throughout the year, and more. So again, if you have any questions, you can reach out on any social network, but we'd love for you to join us over on Discord. And of course, to all of the members of the FGP Squad family, we just want to send a huge thank you for your continued support. All right, Larry, let's go on to your next pick here.
So I'm going to tie it into what you were ending on the last point, kind of like a full circle. We talked a lot about this, and we've been talking about it, and it's infamous. The Magic Band Plus coming to Disneyland, which is old technology for Disney World. And I think it's full circled now. We've kind of got an idea of what it could be, what it is, and hopefully what it turns into. And yes, I did lose one. If it's been documented clearly on here and then on my live stream too. So like it is, that's, and you know what? I've talked to other people that have had them and they said like they are, some of them are hard to break in. So just a hack some people have told me is just keep them, well, Heyzen mentioned on here, make sure it's clasped good, and then you could always buy a tight watch clasp like that they have for watches that could go on there to hold it on there. And just always leave it clasped, even if you're not wearing it. Just leave it clasped because that'll help it break in a circle. Hopefully, that'll make it a lot more better when you wear it. So that's my best advice on that. But For the news-wise, yeah, there you go. Heyzen's showing his Iron Man set one that he has that he got from his, I believe, his wife as a gift.
That's exactly what I do. After you mentioned it, yeah, I leave it clasped together like this to help break it in so that it stays together a little bit better. And I leave it on the hole that I would use when it's actually around my wrist.
Exactly. That's the best advice I could give anybody. And hopefully that kind of changes. They just make better band quality in the future, but we don't have to get into that. I think the main thing here was it was a lot we didn't know, and now we kind of have an idea, and you could put it in the place of, it's definitely one of those things where it's not necessarily a necessity for any family or anyone, but some of the things you unlock by getting it. The bounty hunting experience, now I've done it at Galaxy's Edge. It's very fun. I've done it with friends. I've done it with family now. And see the kids play with it. It's really cool. I would say that's a better experience at night, but you could do it at day too. And you don't need your phone, which is a really cool thing. We're not needing your phone. And then leading into that, obviously, you don't need your phone to get into the parks. You just needed to have it synced up to it at one point to get it all set up. But after that, you're good to go to enter if you want to hop between parks and use that as your mission. And then there's sneaky little effects they use to the park you just don't know about. For example, I just found out recently walking through Main Street right when they did the flag retreat, there's a lighting effect on your Magic Band Plus that goes with it. That's a patriotic style effect. So if you stand in that area, I'd say you could get probably even as far as the Emporium area, and your Magic Band will go off on certain segments of the flag retreat ceremony, which is something that's not even mentioned. And another one is getting off of the Haunted Mansion. Leaving the Haunted Mansion, I don't want to ruin it. It's nothing, I guess I'll say. Getting off the Haunted Mansion always gives me this cool effect because once I get off, it pulsates in red into the heartbeat of,
cool.
when you're leaving. So that's like another thing. It just pops up and it's like a little magic added to your day where you're like, oh, I forgot all about it. It's on my wrist, but it kind of reminds you like, oh, there's a little magic here. And depending on which one you have, if you got the Mickey shaped one or if you've got the Haunted Mansion or the Iron Man one, it's going to light up with that design. So I think there's a lot of room for improvement. We're hoping, like what Andrew's talked about, link it to, more photo pass opportunities, hopefully with the right attractions, link it to payment. That would be awesome. And then, Heyzen's went way out there and above, maybe adding a beacon mode, which would be really amazing. But it's not like it's not possible, and we'll see what Disney does with it. That's kind of exciting. At least it's initially doing what it was promised to do.
I'm definitely waiting for the payment or at least the photo pass linking, but photo pass and payment would for merchandise and food and stuff would be my two. That if they announce those, today I'd buy a Magic Band my next trip. At this point, unless they have one that I'm really like jonesing for, like, oh, I really need that. If they come out with an indie one that's an attraction, or even if it's any indie one, I'll probably buy it, or Roger Rabbit or something. But it's still, I like the idea of a Magic Band, but I'm still in the holding pattern until it's expanded.
I'm sure that the indie Magic Band will come out after the Swiss Family Robinson Magic Band comes out.
Yes,
available when the Treehouse opens.
Exactly. It'll be right. They'll have a whole slew of merchandise when the tree opens up.
Yeah. I'm glad Larry gave that tip, too, about the little clasp, because the tip I was going to give was just grab a bunch of duct tape and just duct tape it to your hand so that it never falls off. So I think Larry's works a lot better than my suggestion.
Whatever works.
And or do the thing. Take the little screws out and take the little puck out and
We've heard about this.
Stick it somewhere else. Stick it in a necklace or whatever.
Get creative. You might start something. You never know.
Are you all saying I should buy a 3D printer?
Oh.
You know what?
Is that what this is all coming
sale.
back to, that I should buy a 3D printer?
Sale. 2022 and it
we're all
right.
on your side, Heyzen. We're all on your side.
I guess
for
I'm getting a 3D printer now. I'll talk to my wife. I'll say, well, the gang said I should get one.
We need to figure out this Magic Band Plus thing before anyone else does.
Yep, exactly. Let's see. The Ernesto de la Cruz one I'm going to cross off because that was one of Mel's. That's an awesome one to bring up. I'm going to... I'm going to go with this one next. You guys know that I am a Doctor Who fan. Years ago, I had gone to the park with a little vinyl of the 11th Doctor and the 10th Doctor, and I walked around posting pictures of the Doctor at Disneyland and at different attractions, different locations in the park. You know, there's always like Bats Day and like all these theme days at the park. Somebody came up with like a Doctor Who day at the park, like a Whovian day, and so I took advantage and saw a bunch of people dressed up as different doctors, and I walked around with the little vinyl. So I haven't watched it as much as I would have wanted to in the last several years because, one, I didn't have the means of watching it because I didn't have anything that had BBC America, and two, the story got super weird, man. Like, they made all sorts of changes to the storyline and the canon of the Doctor, and it was confusing to keep up with, and so I felt like I always wanted to watch it all the way through, starting with, you know, the 12th Doctor and on again, but I never had the means, and the announcement that Doctor Who is coming to Disney Plus in 2023 was absolutely a game changer for me because now I feel like I'm going to be able to enjoy some of the new stuff. I don't know how much of the old stuff is going to be on there yet, but I'm hoping that at one point they have it. I'm not too worried about it right now because a lot of it is on HBO Max, so I can watch it there in the meantime. But I like to live in one service as much as possible whenever I can. So if I can switch between Doctor Who and Boy Meets World and whatever else we're going to watch at the time. I mean, it's helpful, right? So, the announcement that Doctor Who is coming to Disney Plus in 2023 is my next choice.
I have to tell you, I was biting my tongue trying to not make a Doctor Who joke. I'm really trying to hold them back, but that was just to let you know how hard I was concentrating on not interjecting with a Doctor Who joke. So you should be proud of me.
Somehow I am proud of you, but I was also expecting it, and so I feel like I had already prepared a retort for it. So it's okay. We'll save it for the next time because when it finally releases, we'll bring it up again. And then we can go for it.
It'll just be like the whole episode is going to be Doctor Who. Yeah, third base. Anyway,
right?
But yeah, I've never watched any of the Doctor Who series, so we didn't talk about this much when it was announced. I had a lot of friends when I was in high school who were very into Doctor Who. And I always dismissed it, and I was like, that's a load of baloney. That's just some weird, funky British thing. There is no good British TV, blah, blah, blah. Me being high and mighty, think I know everything. So, I might give it a shot once it's on Disney+. It's not something that, like, super interests me at the moment, but maybe, I'll get some suggestions on where to start. And where I won't get confused, and maybe
Doctor.
give it a shot with I have the
Who Doctor number what?
Yeah, Larry's trying to do it. Larry's trying to tell me. I'll stick with my Dr. Pepper for now, and maybe in the future after I've watched my backlog of everything I have to watch, maybe I'll get into Doctor Who, but. As of now, it's on the very low end of the list for me, anyway.
If your backlog is anything like mine, you're never going to get to it.
Yeah, I'll be 78 years old and be like, I should check out this Doctor Who everyone's been talking about for 50 years.
Who are you talking about?
Bring me the hologram sunglasses so I can watch it on Disney Holo Plus.
We're on the 24th Doctor or whatever. By the time, I don't know.
The 100 Doctor Years of Wonder?
Exactly.
Doctor Years of Wonder. That's right.
So.
All right. Let's see. Andrew, back to you.
That was we did was that 3 already? Are we keeping going? I just want to make sure we're.
I think we all did 3, right?
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah. Does anybody have one more? We can go one more
How
round.
about
I think.
I can do honorable mentions. I don't have anything like super excited. If you want to just do like some like quickies.
Well, let's see. Larry and Melissa, what do you have? Do you have any more that you can honorable mention, or do you all want to go one more round?
I have
I-
one. I got
I
one.
don't, and you guys already covered it. It was Dreamlight Valley.
That's a good one.
We're good. I'm good.
So we can just do honorable mentions then, just like if anybody has them, kind of thing.
All right. Yeah, I got a
right,
few
yeah.
honorable mentions.
Yeah. So let me pull up my tablet so I can see. My honorable mentions are the Ant-Man with the mini Bugs Land model holding the
Aw.
mini Bugs Land. That was fun to
That's a good one.
see. That's on my honorable mentions. Also the mini Clarabelle and Daisy as the Sanderson sisters on the cruise and also during Halloween. And it's not really a announcement per se, but when that talented fella made the video of Spider-Man crashing into the building. And then,
that's right.
And then Spider-Man actually then crashed into the building.
Yeah.
So those are my honorable mentions for the year. I thought those are some fun little tidbits of fun stuff that happened throughout the year. Oh, also the announcement. I know we'll talk about it when it comes out, but the announcement of the Dr. Teeth series on Disney Plus with the Muppets. That announcement also was exciting.
My honorable mentions in no priority or no particular order. I'm excited to see. I've been writing Splash Mountain a lot more recently. I still don't get it, but I appreciate it as it is, and I'm ready for Tiana's Bayou adventure. The Bayou. I'm ready for that. Details. I know that's really 2024 when we're probably going to see that, but the details were announced this year. A lot more information was given, and it gave me a lot more excitement. And just keeping with that park theme, Project EXO was announced, and we got to finally see Hulk come out. That was a really cool experience to see that come through fruition. That's really exciting to see what they're going to do with that in the future at the park, to have characters. Hopefully they keep going with that. We just talked about, seeing Baymax maybe someday could be in that kind of same technology, which would be so awesome. And then definitely last but not least, there's many that have left us this past 2022, but I just want to bring light to Betty White's challenge. You mentioned this, Heyzen, early in the beginning of this year. In memory of her passing on her birthday, they did an online campaign where they wanted everyone to donate at least $5 to any animal organization on January 17th of this year. And I hope that's something that continues to go with Betty White as this next year we're coming into a new year. I hope everyone keeps that date in mind and continues that trend, because she was an amazing lady. And there's a lot of great people this year that, we lost, unfortunately. But that's one that kind of stuck in my mind because it came with a great cause behind it that I hope continues on.
Yeah, I do hope that they continue that next year. Well said. Let's see. I had a list of... Here, I'll do these as honorable mentions. I'm actually going to tie one to your treehouse, Andrew, and that is the way that they address...
I guess
well,
I
the
brought it up.
treehouse selection that you made. Yeah,
okay.
the
Yes,
treehouse selection.
treehouse.
All the merch that's going to be... I'm kidding. I want to honorable mention how they changed up New Orleans Square to deal with some of the congestion in the park that happens, like for Fantasmic and everything, the way that they redid that entire area without the steps and stuff. I think that was a game changer for New Orleans Square. So I want to do that as an honorable mention. Stan Lee getting honored at Avengers Campus with his plaque early on in the year. I want to mention the history-changing grass area when you enter the park, where for the first time ever, it was not Mickey Mouse's head, but it was Minnie's head in honor of Women's History Month. And then the other one I want to bring up is, you guys know I love, regardless of how it turns out in the end or, how it's received by a lot of people, I love to champion a lot of stuff that Imagineering does because I'm just such a huge fan of Imagineering and the stuff that they do. Is everything 100% a hit? Not always, but I love what they do. And back in September, Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind, and Rise of the Resistance both got Golden Ticket Awards for Best New Attraction Installation. You know, with what we're seeing at like Universal and these other parks and stuff, it's going to be more challenging for Imagineering to bring us stuff that's, you know, interesting, entertaining, and, you know, keeps us wanting to ride those attractions more and more, right? And Rise of the Resistance is definitely one of those attractions that just breaks the mold in attraction making in every which way. So congratulations to them. And then Deadpool 3 coming and bringing Hugh Jackman. That's the only other one.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that Hugh Jackman's going to be appearing as Wolverine in Deadpool 3, I think was a huge announcement, especially considering that
huge Ackman.
Exactly. You know, we didn't know if we were going to see any of the other X-Men or if we were going to see Hugh Jackman in a role as part of the MCU, but you know, now that we've seen this announcement, it looks like we're finally going to be able to say goodbye to Wolverine, or Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, in this version of the MCU, regardless of which multiversal version we see. But at least we'll get a chance to see him as part of the official MCU before he bows out of the character. So that's really exciting. And I know that we've gone through this entire podcast now, and you're all wondering, wait a second. There was a huge announcement not too long ago. How dare all of you not talk about this? How dare you not talk about the fact that there's no longer plastic straws in the park?
Oh, my gosh.
I love it. I love paper straws. They're the best. I love when they get real soft after you like drink like half your drink.
And they start
and then they
drinking
get real
chunks of it.
soft. And then you get like little pulp. It's like additional fiber.
Yeah.
You know, it's
We don't
Extra
need bags.
protein.
Helps
they
you at the
We
end
really
of the day.
straws.
care
Give
with
us the straws
keep
again.
you regular. You know,
the
a little bit
straws.
of fiber in with some, you know, Coke or Powerade, whatever, you know, you get at your, you know, favorite soda fountain. It's a great announcement.
The Beverly.
Yes, Beverly with the paper straw.
We're just digging.
So yeah, I think that's it. We can
That's it. We
end
can
the
wrap
show.
up this
We were
year.
talking about paper
That's
show.
right. Nothing else.
Paper
nothing
show.
big
Paper straws.
happened.
That was it.
Nobody
All right,
else
bye.
talked about anything
2022.
else. All right. All
That
right.
was it.
Until next time.
Wait. Heyzen, hold on. I see this thing right here. I was just happened to go through, you know, I just searched Disney news, and there's this big thing about something about a guy named Robert Iger. Do you know anything about
Iger?
the Robert
sounds-
Iger? I don't know.
I know a
ABC
Robert
guy.
Tuilliger also goes by Sideshow Bob.
No, he's voiced by Kelsey Grammer. I know him. No, this is
Iger.
maybe
Iger. Sounds familiar.
yeah. I
Wait,
don't know. It must not be.
I remember hearing something tied to another Robert Chapek, I believe.
Maybe. Let's see. Let's dig it. Melissa, do you know anything about this? Do you want to get us out of this hole we've dug ourselves into?
You know, it was one of those things where I think it sounded good in our brains, and then in
Yeah.
the end we were just like, okay, what did we just do? You got to
So
commit
anyway-
to the bit, though.
Commit to the bit, but Bob Iger's back, baby. That's
Yes.
Bobby Boy, Bobby Honey, Bobby Baby, Bobby Booby. If you know company, he's back.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously that it was the Disney news heard around the world when Bob Iger was announced as the incoming CEO, and Bob Chapek had been ousted as CEO of the Disney
And from
company.
bathrooms galore.
Yeah, yeah. I
Andrew
guess nobody in the
specifically.
parks actually went through the process of singing Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead. I don't think we ever found a Disney equivalent of it, but, you know, we've shared some thoughts on how we felt about it before. We've shared some thoughts about how it just seems like from the very beginning Bob Chapek was kind of dealt a bad hand to begin with. And, you know, here we are. But Bob Iger is very loved by a lot of people in the Disney community, and obviously he's loved by the board because they brought him back to try to wrap things up a little bit nicer than he did when he first left and assigned Bob Chapek as his successor. He's got a couple years to try to correct the Disney company, and by a couple years, we know how things go for Bob Iger, so he's got about 5 or 7. And in that time frame, we'll see what changes he brings to the parks. We'll see what changes he makes to the streaming services. I believe there's already talks into possibly selling off ESPN or, spinning it off into its own thing so that they can concentrate just on Hulu and Disney Plus by themselves. Who knows? We're going to obviously get more information in 2023. We're excited to see it. I've talked about how I'm a huge fan of Bob Iger. I haven't agreed with everything that he's done. I do think that he's done some things that I don't want to necessarily say hurt the company, but, they've kind of hurt the company. But as a CEO, you make decisions that are best for the company and the wallet of the investors and the board and everybody. So it's a huge task. You're not going to be able to keep everybody happy, so I understand. But, Bob Iger, CEO of the company. So that's probably the biggest thing.
The king has returned. I think that's kind of the opposite of Ding Dong the Witch is Dead, but it kind of works in the same stead. Like, instead of talking about going out Chapek, it's, right? That's not. Anyway, Lion King, look it up. That's a movie. 1994 it came out.
All right.
Good job.
I think that's going to wrap up 2022 for us. If there's anything that you think we should have mentioned, join us over on Discord. We'd love to hear what some of the most impactful stories and things that happened this year were for you. Join the conversation again by heading over to podketeers.com/links. There you will find a link to join our Discord community. Again, FGP Squad, you'll find a link for it there as well. You can always connect with us over on Facebook, Instagram. Anything else before we wrap up 2022?
There'll be a Quizneyland this week, in theory. I have not, I had a holiday and all this stuff, and in theory I had time to record stuff, but it didn't happen. So there will be an episode. I don't know what's going to be on this episode, but there will be an episode this week. So you'll just be as surprised as I am when I come up with what these topics are going to be, but it'll show up in your feeds at its regular scheduled time. So it'll be there. Quizneyland. Listen to it. It's fun.
Same Moon Knight time, same Moon Knight channel.
Moon Knight.
That's right. All right, that's it. Until next year, keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and always remember to pass on the magic. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
Happy New Year's, all.
Part of the Podketeers Network.